Lunchtime. Oh, I love the spiral fade. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I'll take your word for it. I'm
Beautiful.
on the forums like with a stink face because people are calling out on my lack of pimp knowledge. Saying
I try and separate like real world pimp knowledge from media pimp
that's
knowledge.
what I'm saying.
I don't want
like,
to
this
say,
guy,
oh
this,
yeah, I know all about the
this
pimp
guy's
game.
saying like I can't believe as much as Aaron listens to Snoop, he hasn't picked up a little bit. I'm like, does fucking Snoop Dogg know what he's talking about when it comes to pimping?
It ain't
like
easy.
he knows about
He knows that.
gangbanging. He knows about going through the federal court system.
Yeah.
Does he know the ins and outs of the 70s pimp game? I don't know.
And I also just want to separate
Like, is it all about clocking a grip and slapping hoes? Like, if so, then yeah, I know the pimp game.
Right.
I've got a PhD.
I do-
Pimping hard every day.
I sort of trust David Simon to give me the
Yeah.
true pimp game though. Like, tell me what it's actually like.
And also, like, I feel like that's the other thing with the
I don't know
Deuce
why, but I do.
is that like there's a hierarchy in these pimps. There's like this one pimp that like the game's getting away from him, and like when you listen to Snoop, the game has never gotten away from Snoop.
Fuck no.
So what's
Fuck
it look like to be like the Pete Campbell of pimping?
It's not
versus,
pretty.
versus the Don
Not
Draper.
great, Bob. I can tell you that.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm wanting to see. I want to see the Pete Campbell of pimping. PCP, baby. All right, so that's what got me worked up, and you just flipped on the cameras like it was nothing.
Yeah.
The game and the pimp thread had gotten away from me. I mean, there's so much stuff I could talk about right now. I'll tell you, I want to say it's because I know that you and I have a mutual love for space exploration.
Uh-huh.
So I rolled out of bed this morning just before 8, like I normally do, and grabbed my phone, started reading the front page of Reddit, and I noticed there's a thread about this high-end render that NASA did about the Cassini spacecraft's grand finale, where it's going to smash into the atmosphere of, well, it did smash into the atmosphere of Saturn. And I watched it, and it was like, man, it got an overview of all the science this and its related Huygens probe did. And then it showed like a recreation of what it would look like when it finally goes into the Saturn atmosphere. And first comment was the fact there's a live thread of that happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like 15 minutes from now. And there was this, it was really cool because they bookended it with this coverage where they showed like 15 or 20 years ago, the NASA scientist announcing the at first acquisition of the Cassini signal.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then they showed the Cassini signal as it entered the Saturn atmosphere, and it was like activating its thrusters because it was starting to experience turbulence and was trying to keep its antenna pointed at Earth to send in this extremely valuable information that no one has ever had before.
Wait, if it has thrusters and yet it's still going to crash in the atmosphere?
No, they want it to.
They want it to. Okay.
Because if they left it in orbit, the chance of it decaying and hitting one of these moons that might have life and contaminating it was they deemed too great. So after 20 years of doing badass science across the solar system, they crashed it into Saturn, which also generated science.
Uh-huh.
And like for 45 seconds, this little thing is like trying to keep from tumbling and keep its antenna, and then they finally lost signal, so it started tumbling, and they said probably a minute later the aircraft disintegrated. And it was kind of it was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you're watching, there's a picture of like the Jet Propulsion Lab, the whole team that's like been like there's some people that are in their 40s that like they've been doing this since they got out of high school or college. And then there's people like in the 60s that this has been their life's work, and they're all hugging each other and high-fiving and clapping and crying, and it was neat. It was neat.
Nice. Yeah.
I think that the total cost of that was like $6 billion. Pretty amazing.
That's not bad.
For 20 years?
plus years, yeah.
And there's like so many firsts that it had. Like time we landed a probe on one of the the Jovian moons, and it like flew through these water plumes from one of the frozen, so they could actually verify that it had these were water plumes that were coming out from this frozen surface, and they did organic chemistry on it. It just tons of cool science. Plus all the pictures. I don't know if you've seen the really great pictures of Saturn, and they discovered 6 new moons. They saw one moon they think is actually forming in the rings. It's like, a million years from now it'll be another moon.
Right, yeah.
Really cool. Really cool. It's a great way to start today. And they had no idea that was actually happening today.
Yeah, neither did I.
So that's what I did.
Cool.
Yeah, you got anything you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the big thing, right?
All right.
We should probably talk about BiPACs.
Do it.
Me?
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah,
fuck you, man. My throat hurts. I got this allergy drip all night, so it's kind of raw, and I just talked for like 5 minutes about space.
Yeah. I don't know. We if you guys don't know what we did last weekend, it was our annual BIPAX meeting, which is where it's Blue Yonder Personal Arrogance Expo. We get together with the guys from Personal Arrogance. If you don't remember them, they were a podcast on our network a long time ago. They've been around since Personal Arrogance went off the air.
Levi most recently did an Expanse podcast with us a couple months ago.
Right. I did last year Halt and Catch Fire podcast with Eric.
That podcast has since halt and caught fire.
We did, yeah. We issued the command and it worked. Yeah, so every year we get together with those guys. And we go to a different city somewhere in the country, maybe out of the country.
Because we met these guys for the very first time in real life at Penny Arcade Expo.
Right.
And we started going every year, and then the last 2 years we realized that what we're really doing is staying in the hotel lobby and playing board games the whole time.
Right.
And paying for the privilege of doing so. So buy PAX was a way to bypass the PAX thing and actually just do the thing we really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like 5 years on, I'm kind of, because we've been doing this for 5 years. This is the fifth one. I kind of miss PAX. I think it's time to just take my family to PAX.
Yeah, PAX. I think PAX is an awesome time.
Yeah.
You know, I think I miss it as well. Like
I don't like going
to
I don't like going to every year, even twice a year. But like,
yeah, it's rough.
You know, I feel like it'd be fun to go every other year, every 3 years, or whatever.
Yeah, it takes its toll on me, and BIPAX does too.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky this year. I had a lot of downtime, we'll say, because holy shit, maybe we should talk about some of the games we played.
Yeah. We had 8 people, and that's a problem because there's very few 8-player games. So, like, I sat out the better part of a whole day when they played Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we were playing.
Because they got up, it was like 11:30, and they're like, all right, we're going to play Game of Thrones. I'm like, all right, I played this once or twice before. I think I know the rules. And I was hungover, and I'm sitting there, and I'm listening to Jesse explain, like, all the different phases and
like,
all the win conditions. And I just literally, like, 10 minutes into it, was like, Jordy, you want to play House Stark?
Yeah.
Because I just want to go back to sleep.
Which I think is ironic given what you played the next day, but we'll get there.
Well, I was for it because I had that day of rest.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So yeah.
Game of Thrones was cool.
Game of Thrones was cool.
That wasn't the first game we played though, right? Thursday we played
Joking Hazard.
Joking Hazard.
Which I groaned so hard when that hit the table, and I'm like, God, fucking damn it, a Cards Against Humanity clone. Yay. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the thing about those Cards Against Humanity type games is they're fun like the first couple few times you play them.
Yeah.
And then you've seen everything, you've seen all the combinations, it becomes the joke wears off.
And it's like in most rounds go like, oh, if only you had the blah blah card.
Yeah.
But this was different because it's actually a comic book panel. So you deal one from the top, the judge deals from his hand what he thinks is the best setup, and then the players take turns placing either panel 3 or 0 on either end to make it the funniest, and then the judge. And I thought it's essentially 2 stick figures, a blue shirt and a green shirt, and them doing interactions with each other. And I thought that probably had twice the replay value of Cards Against Humanity.
Maybe. We only played it 2,
That's
3
the other
times.
thing is, like, every time I played Cards Against Humanity or this game, we played through the whole fucking box.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's better to play it 30 minutes while you're waiting for people to show up for game night. And then it probably has near infinite replay value.
Yeah, you don't, like, once you've seen all the cards, there's no surprise.
But you're having such a good time with the humor that it's like, eating Pringles.
Keep rolling.
Yeah. So
that's their slogan, keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
Pringles, keep rolling.
So we played Joking Hazard. Then also this was in the Pilsner neighborhood of Chicago, which is essentially the Mexican enclave.
Yeah, like Little Mexico probably.
Yeah, I mean every place it's like all bilingual. There's a lot of taquerias, there's a lot of Mexican grocery stores. There's little Aztec bronze symbols laid at the crosswalks of all the things. There's a statue to
There's also a deep dish pizza joint.
There's also a deep dish pizza joint.
Because of Chicago.
Yeah. But it's really because you know how they got they got these dramatic paintings of everything. Like there was those everywhere.
Oh, the L stop there was awesome. It was just totally painted up. Yeah.
But I noticed like even the businesses, like they had a traffic attorney, like a personal injury attorney, and his billboard was painted in that style.
Huh. Okay.
Like he was sweeping the entire neighborhood behind his protective hand as like car crashes and was going on. Like, and it was like,
sounds like something you'd see in Daredevil.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, the Pilsner neighborhood, which I think, no, Jordy set me straight on that. I thought that was where the Pilsner style beer was invented.
Oh.
But apparently that's in Germany or Holland, and this was like would be New Pilsner.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, we're in this neighborhood.
Really? So it must have been a while ago that it was mostly populated by Germans?
No, this neighborhood wasn't. I'm saying the original, like it's named after the actual place over in Old Country that invented the Pilsner style beer.
Gotcha.
But anyway, yeah. And we walked most places. We went downtown a couple times. Like downtown Chicago. What other
my favorite place. When did we go there? I think my favorite place was the Haymarket Brewing Company or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Haymarket had just like really amazing food. I had a burger there, which was awesome.
It's like trashy gourmet.
There. Yeah, it's like bar food, but done really well.
Yeah, like for breakfast, I had this thing called the Morning Riot, which was like on a bed of hash browns fried in duck fat.
Yeah, it looked good.
They had a single duck egg, sunny side up, 2 pieces of really frou-frou toast, a chicken sausage, and a helping of their like barbecued shredded beef on top of it. And it hit the spot.
Yeah. Jordy ordered a breakfast pizza that was amazing.
Yeah, the breakfast pizzas look good too.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to the gaming.
Yeah. So the next day we played Game of Thrones,
and I played while you guys were doing that. As me and Eric were the odd men out, I believe.
I think so.
And he showed me his new Monster Hockey League game that he's been working on with
right.
Levi. And it was like I really hope the guys finish this one because the core mechanics are.
You hear that, Eric?
Yeah.
Finish your fucking game.
The core mechanics are so fun. I feel like it's really going to get bogged down in the monster theme because they're trying to balance all these unique powers. But just honestly, because what's cool about it is like you got this field that's kind of like you're not on a rink that's divided into these like they're not hexagons, they're like circle positions where your men can go.
Yeah.
And you've got like 3 guys on your team that are represented by cards. And they all have different stats as far as speed, skating ability, stick handling, and like their strength for like fighting ability. And it's really cool. They got this mechanic where you draw up plays on like a coach's clipboard. That's a dry erase thing that's got all that stuff. And you plan all the plays out, and then you put the coach's clipboards down, and then you actually see what happened in real time. Like these guys skated together and smashed into each other, and like it was just really really fun and satisfying, and like it was paced like hockey. Like the game finished 1-1 and we had to end in a sudden death shootout. And it took me the whole first period to get used to what the fuck I was doing. I started getting proficient in the second, and then third, like I was starting to come up with strategies, and it reminded me a lot of like the Star Wars minis games.
Okay.
Like the starships, it's like you resolve some of that combat where like you got directions where your fighter's going, and you kind of anticipate to try to get like positional advantage. It was a lot like that because it's like, okay, Eric's got the puck. If I'm him with his dudes like this, I would try to do this. So I'm going to move my guys anticipating where they're going to be. But also, if I'm wrong, I need to make sure this guy's cheated over here so I'm not completely out of position.
Right.
And maybe I can shift my goalie to that weak side too to shore it up. It was super fun. Yeah, I hope you guys finish that because it's looks great, plays great. I think the monster theme is hot, but like expansion.
Expansion? What do you mean?
Just have tabletop hockey league, and then the expansion is monsters. And it adds all the special abilities and the unique to like the teams are now mutant versions of them, and because it's So I just want to play it. I just want to buy it. I just want to see it on Kickstarter, buy it, and play it.
You've played it.
Yeah.
And then I forget what we did later that night after Game of Thrones. Do you have any recollection? Was that the Haymarket night?
Might have been.
Yeah, I think it was. And then the next day, I woke up late, and you guys had started a game that we'd been talking about all weekend.
This is a
right?
fabled game,
Yeah.
like Twilight Imperium.
The trouble is, it plays 6 players max,
and it takes
we have 8
approximately 2 days to finish.
that was the crazy thing is, I think it took you guys like an hour and a half just to get through the reading of the rules.
It did, and I was very impressed by Eric that he had it like it was like as smooth as a political stump speech. He just methodically took us through the rule, and it helped because none of these were new mechanics. This is essentially someone did a space version of Axis and Allies, and then they took a bunch of Euro game mechanics like not worker placement, but what's that mechanic where you can do like one thing, like you can trade or you can colonize or you can expand your business, like those roles.
The name for it, yeah.
So they took that and they just crammed it up its ass. So like all these things are just like, oh, I get it. So that's like when a battleship does a bombard land, what do they call that? An amphibious assault on, a coastal thing in Axis and Allies. It's just everything was relatable that way.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like 90 minutes to get through the fucking rules.
Yep.
We're all handed these species that all have like they have like this intense lore, and they all have like these private objectives that are based on that stuff.
Yeah.
And
just the sheer number of pieces.
Oh my God.
There are 8 different types of things. There's like tokens, there are cards, there are markers, there's
like 9 different types of ships.
Minis. Yeah. It's intense. And even like we had a massive table there, right? That sat 8 of us pretty comfortably.
Right.
3 along each side, 2 on the ends. The whole table was taken up by this game. The
entirety I put a picture of it on Instagram. Right before we threw the first die.
It's insane.
Yeah, so we were going in like 8 hours long into this game, and there was probably 6 more if we played it out, but a couple of us made the decision to kind of like, I just want to see what happens with the mechanics. So we just like started picking fights.
Oh, yeah.
And everything like happened like very, very quickly. So it's like one of those things where optimally you'd take a whole day. You'd get started at noon and commit to like being there overnight if you have to. Or it'd be great use for those tabletop gaming tables where like, they're recessed and they have a table surface that fits over it. So it's like, okay, we're going to play a couple hours tonight, and then once everyone gets a turn in, we're going to put the table over and keep coming back. Although, how do you keep track of what the hell you're doing in the game?
I don't know.
When you take 2 weeks off in between, I don't know.
But that lasted literally all day.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
It was like 11 to 9 or something.
Yeah.
It was insane. So I kind of had a down day. I played a couple of just like fun short games with Rolo. We played this game that he got out of one of those game bundles called Jurassic Attack. That was basically war with dinosaurs. It was kind of bullshit. Then we played Monopoly Deal, which was a little bit more fun, I thought. There was a little more strategy to it. Probably more strategy than there is to actual Monopoly.
Yeah.
But it's basically a card version of Monopoly where you draw cards, you get different properties, and you get rent money and stuff. And then, I don't know. It was pretty good.
We also got to talk about the Shepherd's Stone.
Right.
Someone mentioned something about this trick that Christopher Nolan used several times in the movie Dunkirk, where, do you know how like a barber's pole works, where it's this candy stripe that rotates and it looks like there's something that's just always ascending. It's always ascending. Well, you can do the same thing tonally. You have, it's like, think of that, and then also, or you can go to the Wikipedia article for Shepherd's Stone and it explains it all too. It's also kind of get the element of like a medley, like, row, row, row your boat.
Oh, right.
Once I get done with row, 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 then you come in with row, row, row. So if you do that with enough ascending tones where everyone's ascending, and then you start over, but then people while you start over keep ascending, it sounds like all the world like a bomb, like one of like a fusion reactor that's going to go critical, but it keeps getting critical. Like you tell yourself like, okay, the tone isn't changing, but like it's a completely convincing audio illusion. So a couple times we tried to do it manually with like the row, row, row your boat technique, and one time we got like 4 of us doing it, and it started to work, and then the fact that it worked distracted us from. But yeah, that's Shepherd's Stone, big thing in the weekend.
I guess.
Yeah. You slept through all those?
No, I didn't sleep through it, but I was like, okay, what is going on here? Sure,
Where's
guys.
Your childlike sense of wonder, Jim? And then anything? I think that's about it. Like, did we play anything else? I know we did another round of Joking Hazard.
Yeah, the next day we did Magic.
Oh, right, the Magic tournament.
Did a Magic draft, yeah.
Which is the first time I've drafted Magic in like 5 years.
It was fun.
Super fun. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a local. I'm going to start doing like a monthly local Magic draft.
Yeah.
Amongst our friends.
Yeah, we're in on that.
And honestly, what I'd really like to do as soon as we do a couple of rounds of that is figure out this cube business. You know, like that's where
Cube?
Yeah, it's like somehow you assemble a bunch of Magic common and uncommon cards to essentially have a permanent draft with cards you already own. It's kind of like our idea where we were going to shuffle up like the correct distribution of packs and like put them in a Ziploc bag and like pretend instead of paying $12 every fucking week to draft times however many people, we would just do that. And it's essentially like that, except for it's not as complicated and you don't have to have the. I don't know. I've sat down 3 separate occasions to try to understand the Magic Cube thing, and I've yet to find like the YouTube video that makes it concise enough that I get it.
Why does I mean that doesn't seem hard to me. You put 1 rare, 3 uncommon, and
because that's not what it is. It's like you get
1,000
cards, and there's a way you construct it, and there's certain different patterns you do it, and then the way
1,000 cards. We're gonna have to play for a year to get 1,000 cards.
What the hell are you talking about? No, you won't. Like you get several hundred in an 8-man draft, right?
15 times 3 times 8.
So it's 45 times
like
8. That's 2. That's, yeah. So like I don't think it'll take that long at all. And then also I have thousands and thousands and thousands of Magic cards in the basement. That's what I was really thinking of doing.
They're all crappy though. I've sold off the good ones.
Not true. I've been looking through my Magic catalog.
No, I mean mine.
But that's the beauty of it. You're doing mostly commons and uncommons. You don't need like the rares and mythic rares and legendaries and shit.
Yep.
So that was fun.
It was.
The block, the Egyptian-inspired mummy block, the Ahamket.
Ahamket.
Anamanon.
Something like that.
Anamanon. That was super fun, and I sat through because I had nothing better to do. The weekend PAX was in, so I was watching PAX on Twitch, and there was this random thing about the next Magic block by the creators and artists for it, and like it looks super cool.
Huh.
The concept is like it's a plane where there's like there's natives that ride dinosaurs, and then there's vampire conquistadors that have discovered it that are trying to move in, and there's pirates that are trying to like plunder on the edges, and then there's also a native tribe of merfolk. And it's like, you know, it's ninja. It's kind of like the pirate. You just need ninjas in there, and you'd have and robots. You need ninjas and robots. You have to get some Ethereum filigrees in there, and they've had to have ninjas in Magic. They've had to have a Japanese inspired block.
They did Kamigawa, I think is
okay.
The
that was
block,
before my time.
or the set.
Because I started playing during the first Alara block.
Yeah.
Shards of Alara, and that was like almost 10 years ago. Probably was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
I wish I still had a bunch of my time spiral cards because I'm sure those are worth a shitload now.
Yeah, I have a couple I bought because there was still. I think you and Peter were playing a little bit of Time Spiral when I first started drafting with you guys.
Yeah, that's when I got into it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun, and then we all came home.
Yeah, we sat in an airport for 5 hours and played Magic.
How do we keep doing this? We keep fucking up when to leave.
Yeah.
So, and we're always left in the sitting at the airport for 5+ hours phase of it. And it made worse because actually wouldn't have been true this time, except for O'Hare is so big. There's so many terminals, and they will not let you, like the guys flying to Seattle are in Terminal 3 and we're in Terminal 1. And even with the ticket, they're like, this isn't your terminal. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So if we could have sat and played like up until they had to leave, we would only probably had an hour and a half to kill.
Yeah, that'd been fine.
But we didn't. And there's only so long you can bash your head against Jim's red-green deck of death with my shitty white-black before you just want to die.
I was pretty happy with the deck.
Yeah,
it did pretty well.
You guys that did green-red all were tough nuts.
There were 3 of us. I expected us to not have very good decks.
And I'm over here white. Oh, no, I wasn't white-black. I was white. I was white-green, thinking like, oh, look at these untold treasures and all this stuff. And I got just like my deck was always like almost ready to stabilize and take over, but it very rarely did.
Yeah,
it was a pisser. But I don't know. It might be it's a new block. I should put the mummy shit behind me. But I just
went with the tried and true like big creatures, good mana curve,
Yep.
removal,
Yep.
done.
I did that too, and I threw in a mythic god, and it just shit all over the bed. I don't know. I
Okay.
think it's because like I had too
That
many
god was-
mechanics. Like
Yeah.
I could have leaned on cycling. I could have leaned on embalm. I could have leaned. There was another mechanic too, and I had all three of them in my deck instead of just like. And I also very underestimated how good cycling was.
Yeah, I had some good. What is the term for it? Exile? No, it's not exile.
Embalm, right?
Exert.
Exert.
I had some good exert cards.
I didn't
that worked
have
together
any.
really well.
I that's the one that was a really good mechanic, and I kind of because it seemed like a lot of red.
But it's deceptively good.
Oh yeah,
too. Like
yeah, you rammed
think,
it up my
"Oh,
ass
really?
like
I've gotta,
a million
like,
times.
take 2 turns to do what I really want to do.
But it's
like,
a really good thing you do.
yeah. And then I
Yeah.
had something that could untap them, and it worked out really well.
That's probably how they balanced it. Like this is so fucking OP. What are we gonna do to balance it? Well, they can't do anything next turn.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
All right.
Can't block.
And it still
can't
feels
nothing.
strong.
Yeah.
Still feels strong. There's your Magic talk. Magic talk from two guys who haven't played Magic in 10 years. What else we want to talk about? Do you want to get to questions? Want to get to some audience participation? That's what we
Yeah,
do.
I suppose so. We're about halfway through this thing.
All right.
Who am I kidding? We're a third of the way through.
Texas Sandman from Texas.
What?
I think someone had a question. Get your tweets ready too. I think someone had a question for last week's secret lunch regarding conspiracy theories and which ones you like, dislike, subscribe to, etc. Love to hear your take. My sister's new boyfriend that she met on eHarmony posted on 9/11 about some truther shit, and it made me lol. Makes me cry. I've lost a good friend to conspiracy theories, and it sucks because it's just like I don't know. And that's the thing, like, I would let bygones be bygones. Like, look, man, I have looked into this, and I have decided it nonsense, poppycock. There's no way this discussion can go but anger. And me thinking you're progressively stupider and taking a haughtier and haughtier tone, and it's just not going to be good. And they just fucking won't let it go. It'd be like a person, like, is obsessed with converting me from atheism. Like, I've had that happen a couple times where, like, some Christians made me their project. I'm like, well, I guess we're not going to be friends then because this is stupid and horseshit, and it makes me angry. So, yeah, I remember when I saw JFK as an impressionable, still deeply in the cult young man. It's like one of the first rated R movies I'd seen, and I thought it was the truth. Like, oh my God, if all this shit is true, we've had the, and then I started doing, I read Jim Harrison's book On the Trail of the Assassins, and like, oh, he had pictures in there, and I'm like, God damn, this is something. And then on the fledgling internet, the Netscape 1.0 days, I started doing research, and it turns out it was all bullshit.
See, this is
All bullshit. Like,
this is
and
why
they
I
know
don't
it's
claim to have any knowledge of the pimp game
yeah.
because I watched a movie.
Right. And there's the thing is, like, not only is it bullshit, but these people have to know it's bullshit. Like this pristine bullet, if you literally rotate the bullet 180 degrees to look at the other side of it, it's like all fucked up and crinkled and caved in like you'd expect a bullet that tumbled through bone. They have to fucking know that, but they still, like, every single JFK website on there has got the pristine bullet. Go fuck yourself. The how does a bullet take this crazy? Well, it's because the fucking car, like if you look at the position, the Connolly guy sat down and to the left of Kennedy.
Back and to the left?
Yeah, it didn't do two 90-degree turns. It went in a straight fucking line you could expect. They have to know this. You can go look at this car.
I don't know. It led to a pretty good Seinfeld joke.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I got inoculated by conspiracy theories, and the next one was the moon landing hoax, and same fucking deal. Yeah. It's not like this theory is discredited, and now here's the next one that's unassailable by NASA. It's just a collection of bullshit, widely discredited theories that you would never know if you read these guys' primary source. They treat each one like it's an interlocking piece of the puzzle when they're an individual collection of things that might be hard to explain or curiosities, but they've all been answered. And you guess what? 9/11, same thing. Like, I've seen loose change. It's laughable.
Yeah.
It's laughable. So, if you're a conspiracy theorist, I don't know what to say to you because you're living an interesting life.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
You should go become an FBI agent.
Yep.
Maybe you'll find out some alien shit.
Or the alternative is like, the conspiracy's so grand it's pushed down the bald move.
Right.
we're in on it.
Maybe.
We're fucking in on it.
No way to really tell, is there?
Nope. You'd have to look at our 27th vertebra to see if it's got alien DNA in
That's the
it.
thing about the moon landing. You can literally look at the fucking moon and see the stuff that we put up there.
Yeah. You can bounce lasers off the receivers. It's
Okay, let's see if I have a Twitter thing here. Ridium says, if Martin finishes the Game of Thrones books after the show ends, will you go back and review the books and compare them to the show?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Are you kidding?
We had talked about if the latest book had come out between seasons that we were going to do like not a chapter by chapter thing exactly, but maybe like take each POV as an entirety and talk about it.
Yeah. And the thing is Jim won't, but like as soon as the book drops, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing and read it. And I got enough other Game of Thrones culture type people that I could get a round table and have like a baller discussion
for sure.
You know, maybe like even have it like a 4 to 6, like here's the first 200 and here's the next 200 and but yeah, it'll definitely happen. It'll definitely happen. Unless I can't think of because it would be super popular and it's something I'm doing anyway. So it's essentially it's me recording a conversation I have with my friends about it.
Yeah.
That's setting things up and knocking them down, man.
Yep. That's it.
Oh. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of people making jokes about the fact we didn't do a podcast. Texas Sandman's come back for a double dip. Have either of you experimented with cold showers? The stated benefits include increased alertness, better hair and skin, improved muscle recovery, boosted weight loss, better circulation immunity, and reduced depression. Not sure the veracity of all that.
That's what they said about Coca-Cola, too, when it first came out. No, I've heard all these things. I've read, like, Tim Ferriss's stuff, and he talks about ice baths and all this stuff. Sure, maybe there's some efficacy to it, but it is not worth it. It is in no way worth it. There are other ways to get the things that you get from a cold shower without the pain of a cold shower.
I from like May to September, I tend to take like if it's hotter than 70 degrees out, I'm taking cold showers.
I'm still taking hot showers. It could be 110
I hate it
in Las Vegas. I'm gonna take a steaming hot shower.
I hate it because I just instantly sweat and I never stop sweating. If I take a nice cold shower, then that kind of cools me off, and as long as I don't exert myself, I can have a pretty chill day. But yeah, I love taking cold showers, but in the winter, whew, brutal. I mean, that's the thing. One of the reasons we're so like cold and hot all the time is because humans, as in developed countries, very rarely have the necessity to develop the natural adaptations that we have for controlling our temperature. You need to spend 2 to 3 weeks in like a freezing situation for your vascular system the capillaries to retreat from beneath your skin so you can hold more of that heat. And to get used to the painful stimulus. Same thing with hot. You have to be in a hot climate for 3 to 4 weeks before those capillaries build back up, and you can more easily regulate the heat. So
I take pretty long showers, but I'm not staying in there for 2 weeks.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you, because like another thing I'd experimented this summer is we've used the air conditioner very little.
Yeah.
And just tried to do things more like ventilation at night and all that stuff, and the more you do it, the better it works. So, and I found like I was noticeably less susceptible to like when I was riding the bikes in the summer and doing that shit. I don't know, bunch of boring science shit. It's not comfortable though. No, except for I enjoyed taking cold showers in the summer. Feels good.
Weird. Steven says, how much Narcos have you watched, and what are your thoughts?
Haven't seen any Narcos yet. Just too much goddamn television dropped in the last 2 weeks, and it's going to take me off. I'm halfway through BoJack. I took on the Deuce. There's Top of the Lake that I think Cecily and I are going to try watching this week because they had a Gwendolyn Christie to the mix.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks
Is
super
she a
fun.
cop too?
Okay. So there's so like it's just got to prioritize, and I'm way behind. But it's definitely on my list. There was a lot of cool Narcos advertising at the airport. Did you see all that shit? Like in Chicago, all going through security, all the little bins that they give you had a big advertising, and they're making light of the fact of drug trafficking through airports and stuff as a way to advertise Narcos.
That's
like,
weird.
what the hell are you doing? Is this an ARG? Should I have a kilo on me? What? If I go to enough security terminals, do I get some Pablo points? I don't know, but I haven't seen it. Probably a couple weeks from now, there'll be a Bald Move TV with my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, we're going down the shower hole here. Murder Bear from Kentucky, jumping on Texas Sandman's topic. Have you guys ever had a dark shower?
What? Oh.
Jim may be familiar with this.
What the fuck does that mean?
That was first introduced to me by Matthew Rory from Giant Bum.
Yeah.
The concept is simple. Right before taking a shower, turn off the lights. That's it. It's a nice treat for the senses.
Yeah, no, I think it has a quality probably similar. I've never done this, but like dining in the dark or...
Never done that. I don't like to dine in the dark.
Really?
Yeah, I like to turn on enough lights I can see my food.
It's... Like, that's the thing. The dining in the dark makes a little more sense to me because it's supposed to be an experience that is a little surprising.
Like, where's my food? I can't... trying to pick up the last pea on the plate. It's
literally like, what am I going to eat? What am I about to eat? Like, that kind of thing.
No. Oh,
yeah,
that doesn't sound fun to me at all.
For people who like it, I'm sure it's good.
No, yeah,
like, the cold shower sounds terrible to me, but
yeah, there you go.
But the dark shower, like, there's nothing surprising about a dark shower. I've showered many times. I could literally shower with my eyes closed. I guess it might be interesting as a novelty, but I've never tried it.
Right. I close my eyes through half the showering process anyway, because anytime I'm shampooing, I always keep my eyes closed, so I feel like I'm getting half a dark shower.
Yeah. I take microsecond dark showers when I blink.
Well, that's all you need. The science has shown that's all you need to get the benefits of the dark shower. The increased vascularity.
Combine the dark shower with the cold shower.
Ooh.
And I'm noping out immediately.
It sounds like you're halfway to a ritual to call Cthulhu from his.
Here's what
Rylar
you do.
Or whatever.
I'm gonna set up a dark shower surprise studio, and it's gonna be just shower stalls that you can go into, and the entire room is dark. You can't see a damn thing, and because that would be the worst. Like, the knobs are in places that you don't recognize, right? Like, sometimes I would have it so sometimes you turn it to the left, it's hot water. Sometimes you turn it to the left, it's cold water. Surprise dark shower is like the new surprise dark dining.
In our master bathroom suite, they fucking put the hot and the cold on backwards.
That. Why?
For the first couple weeks, I was like, when I'm doing the dark shower phase,
you ended up taking hot showers instead?
Yeah, I would. No, we moved in the winter, so I like hot showers in the winter. And I'm like, oh, it's time to move the shower up one click, and I move it down one click, and suddenly just ice water's pouring on me.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's your turn, buddy.
Let's see, Robert. Kirsten says, after seeing Mother, have you been able to see it? And if so, what are your thoughts? I haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to see it next week. I'm going to see it.
I would like to see it. Now that I have the Movie Pass thing, so I got the Movie Pass.
Yeah, why not?
And it worked. It worked just fine yesterday, but I don't think it would work for big movies.
Me and Cecily are going to see it and do a podcast on it next week. So if you see it before we see, I guess that'd be Wednesday night is our podcast night. Feel free to join in.
That might happen. We'll see.
It's my turn. Yeah. Kuman07 from Kansas City. With the TV fall premiere season just around the corner, are there any new shows that have caught your eye? There's a new one on Sci-Fi called Ghost Wars. The trailer for it looks pretty good and stars Vincent D'Onofrio.
Ghost Wars?
Speaking of sci-fi, did either of you watch the first season of Channel Zero? Those are not on my radar, but they might be. The one thing that is kind of on my radar that we haven't talked about is who's the fuckface that does American Dads and Family Guy?
Oh, Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. He's doing what looks for all the world to be a TV series based around the concept of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, looks a lot like it.
Now, I don't really like and enjoy his sense of humor. I mean, I don't like Family Guy and American Dad, but I don't like the Tales from the West. But I have seen him stuff that I think is fun. Okay, maybe I do. Maybe I do hate. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. But I'm kind of curious because I really, really like Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
And some people have emailed me on the Game of Thrones station, the Game of Thrones email address, and asking me if I was. So it feels like I've gotten a lot of people buzzing about it, and then I watched a couple trailers when we were sitting at that Haymarket last weekend, and it looked pretty cool. Might check that out.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have interest in that simply because it's Seth MacFarlane.
But the other thing is like, my God,
Fan.
I haven't seen any Insecure season 2 yet. I'm way behind on like I just got TV piled up on me. It's going to be nice when the winter lull comes. I can catch up.
Yep, can't watch it all.
Yeah, your turn.
BJ Witkoff says, "What is it like having fans or people who wait for your voices?" I don't even know how to pronounce this. Podlebrities? That must be surreal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the thought of it, I try not to think about it most of the time because it adds a lot of stress and pressure when I'm unable to get things out or I just say things that I, in retrospect, regret. But like, it's totally surreal. You know, we're essentially two nobodies from the Midwest, and I did not think that anybody would ever essentially be waiting to hear the next thing that would come out of my mouth. It still seems stupid to me. Like I'm not saying the people who do that are stupid, because I do that with
that's what I'm saying.
People,
I only understand it through the transitive property of like, oh man, I'm really jonesing for this particular network to drop its next podcast.
Exactly,
I'm out of podcasts. What the hell am I doing here?
So I'm that way with like Giant Bomb, for instance.
I understand. I understand the feeling. It's just weird that people would have it about the thing that I do.
Yeah, it's super weird. Podlebrities is a terrible term, though.
Podlebrities?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because now, like, when I'm out and I'm meeting people for the first time, there's always a question like, "What do you do?" It's like I've gotten over, because I used to win. It's like, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
You know, because like but now I just say, I run a podcast network, and then sometimes they just like, cool, or sometimes they're dismissive, and sometimes they're interested. It's like, whatever.
And if worse comes to worse, and they say, "What the hell's a podcast?" You say, think of it like a radio show on the internet.
And that's step B. And if they're just like, and then
what's a radio?
Right, then it's
then
like,
I say, get out of here, you Martian.
Yeah, it's like, we're done with this conversation.
Yeah.
You fucker. Garth Gow, not a question per se, but if you guys want to plug the Bald Movers as a Destiny clan, that'd be awesome.
The Bald Movers? I guess you just did.
I did. It's all one word, Bald Movers. You can request to be a member from Bungie Net site, or I can send invites out to folks who want to contact me with this Garthman00 on here in the PlayStation, whatever your druthers. Yeah, I'm bummed because I was really excited about the clan features of Destiny, and then I found out that the clans are limited to 100 members.
Is that not a lot?
Well, for Bald Move, no. Like, if I got on to any of our biggest shows and said, join the Bald, it would be full 3 hours later.
Well, that's a problem. Like Giant Bomb talks about, even when you can have 1,000 people on your friends list,
then
their friend lists are full all the time.
Yeah, same. Yeah. So that's I in the same way. I actually just, like, anyone that I didn't immediately recognize the name, I purged sometime in the last 6 months, because I had all these people that I played onesie twosie, and like, it was also sobering when I went. Destiny 2 is really cool that when you first started up, if you're a veteran, it does these like really cool like charcoal etching kind of drawings of the different big moments from the original Destiny, and it shows the gamer tags of the people that you first completed that content with.
Yeah.
And for the first 2 raids, I'm like, who are these fucking people? Like, TD Shum, I recognize. There's Tony. Like we were. It was just a ragtag group of people that I just played once or twice with, and
they've fallen off.
And the other thing is, like, I also realized that I much rather play Destiny by myself 90% of the time, because what I'm doing is running patrols or some kind of mindless thing where I can listen to podcasts, and I don't want to be in a fire team talking. I like being in a fire team when I'm actually doing a team activity. And there's some people, like, a lot of my friends are not like that. They'll like sit in a group of 9 just chatting it up, where it's like, I'm listening to podcasts, so I guess I'm antisocial.
Yep.
I'm antisocial.
Yeah. I'm with you, though. That's my preferred mode of operation.
So I don't know, because I was like, man, it'd be cool if we have this big clan, and then, like, you know, because you get passive rewards for being part of a clan that's doing things. And like, you get shared experience, and like, there's also guided games where, like, you can say, like, I'm a newbie and I want to go through the raid, and like, it alerts clan members that you want to do the raid, and there's a lot of cool features. But 100 people, it's like, and there's no way There's also no way, like, it'd be also cool if you could have a group of clans, like, you know, you'd have Bald Move West or Bald, like, everybody, there's some way to connect them all, but, like, I'm like, I don't even know to what extent I'm going to participate in this.
Yeah.
So, but
Gotta start
if
playing
you're looking,
Eve.
if you're looking for a clan to join, Bald Movers sounds like a good, I played with Garthgau
Okay.
a time or two.
Is he
So,
good?
I don't remember. And that's the other thing.
Trying to
It's
put me
like,
on the spot.
yeah, what am I going to do? Say, like, there's definitely people that I'm like, this is a real bummer trying to drag you through the raid. Like, why are you using the worst weapons for this phase? Why are you using your exotic sword when it's lethal to get within arm's length of any of these fuckers? Like, why, please? But, you know, I don't know.
All right.
I'm the asshole.
Stacey Johnson. Heard there's already been a script leaked from Game of Thrones season 8. Do you know if that's true? And are either of you spoiled yet? I'm not spoiled. I haven't heard about the script. Yeah.
Not knowingly. If this year, I'll be pissed retrospectively if I find it's this kind of cool Braun busting Ilaria out of jail as a leak.
Yeah.
Because that was
one
like
of the big theories that we were.
That came
about.
out of nowhere, and I thought it sounded like, now people have torn it apart in the forums because there's a lot of like thematic and narrative, you know, the stuff that I would use to tear the theories apart.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's that hot of a theory anymore, but I do like it, and it is a bummer if that's now. I thought that was for sure leaked, but I thought that there was some dispute about the veracity if those are actual real leaks.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I didn't even know there was a leak, and no, I'm not spoiled yet.
And you would know, because you would only be spoiled if I deliberately spoiled you, because out of the Game of Thrones season, you're not on the Reddits and
outside of the season, no.
Yeah, and you don't get like Game of Thrones emails. I need to add you at some point. Although, I guess what's the purpose?
Yeah.
But that's an artifact from when you were spoiler free.
Right.
Oh fuck. PHUUCK says, do you ever wonder if there will be a time when the rapid technology advancement will essentially eliminate jobs for people with low skills or who are elderly?
Ha! No, I don't wonder at all. I know.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. The thought came across my mind when I was waiting in the self-checkout line at Target, which substantially increased in the last year or so. While I can't deny that in this instance self-checkout is nice and all, I still get a little concerned that job opportunities as a cashier are slowly getting phased out.
Dude, Amazon, have you seen Amazon doing the Whole Foods Prime Now delivery stuff? Yep. You can order food and products 2 hours in advance. They'll be at your door. You don't even have to leave your house.
Yeah. So sometime in the next 10 to 20 years, all cashier jobs are going to go away. You'll have like one person managing.
We can do it now.
Yeah, you'd have
we just don't yet.
You'd have one person managing 12 independent automated registers.
Yeah.
All commercial truck driving is going to go away, except for maybe like hazardous.
All like Uber and Lyft.
All
and
Uber
all
taxi
that kind
services.
Of stuff.
I mean, this is happening in our generation, and the scary thing is like this has been on my radar for about 18 months. And I keep a keen ear to the ground to hear people are starting to talk about it in terms of politics, but there are no good solutions.
Yeah.
Like the best solution is universal basic income, which might create a Morlock Eloy race like divide because I saw that on like The Expanse, and I'm like, oh, you're right. If everyone had a guaranteed basic income, the basic income would be the new poverty.
Sure.
Like you have enough to subsist, but like actually get freedom to enjoy happiness or to take vacations. Like that's going to be the extras, and if there's no jobs for the extras, then what the fuck are you going to do? And also it's radioactive in this country. Like any kind of guaranteed basic income smacks of socialism and communism, and it's just not going to happen. So, and
it's relatively untested too. We don't even know how well it would work.
I feel like automation is just going to wreck a lot of the economic setups we got now, and we're going to be very poorly prepared for it. And yeah, there's also a lot of other concerns going on the planet that are all going to come to a head in like one generation.
Okay.
And it's going to be the Gen Xers and the millennials that have to fix it or die. So, and I have faith we can do it.
Yeah, well,
because that's the thing.
Twitch streamers and
that's the thing. Solved. This is a temporary bumpy stage, and where we go, we can either go to Mad Max feudalism or Star Trek utopia from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly don't know which way is more likely. and it's probably going to be innovation in science that because like people are too fucking selfish to solve these problems while they're solvable. So it's just going to, you know, it's like if the automobile wasn't invented, New York City would be buried under 100 feet of horse shit, you know? and people were worried about that, but then he invented the automobile, and then we just dumped carbon in the air for 100 years, and we didn't see it. It was invisible.
Oh.
So what's going to be the thing that gets us out of it this time? I don't know. I hope something.
We really need to build into these systems that are like, you know, transporting all of our goods and driving us around. We need to build in some desire for podcasts. We need to get the podcast lobby together and say, look, once all these people have no commute times and are able to watch YouTube videos while they're driving or being driven, we're going to have problems, podcasters.
No, we need to start donating large money to AI researchers because we need to make sure that all AI are created with an inborn desire to listen to podcasts.
Right.
Let's skip the middleman. I want to get to the end game.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you. We need that.
A future in which artificial intelligence is incapable of generating their own podcasts, but they crave them.
Yeah.
They crave them night and day. And also artificial intelligence, 24-hour audience. Like, you know, his fucking meat brains are inactive 1/3 of the day. They can't listen to your product.
That's
Get
true.
them out of here. Mainline it right to the AIs. And they can listen to thousands of podcasts a second. That's the other thing. Their appetite's insatiable.
What happens if they don't get the podcast they need?
To crush, kill, destroy.
Oh, shit.
So
we have an imperative to produce
gotta,
podcasts.
Yes. We'll get filthy rich and survive. We'll be the only ones left after the
I just don't think we can meet
empire
demand.
of man is swept away. Yeah, well, you know, what's that do when you have an infinite demand and a limited supply? We're going to be fucking rich.
Unless we're crushed, killed, and destroyed.
Well, we have to use funnel our riches into a
moon base.
To the remaining humanity, we need to train them as special anti artificial intelligence security forces. So like if the robots get too crushy, killy, destroy with us, they're killed. Kill switch.
I feel like we've got the makings of a pretty good comic book.
Or a quip for damn sure.
Yeah.
Just like the rare randomly generated quip. All right, your turn.
Oh, shit. Ryan says, he asked, can the Deuce get upgraded to full coverage? I think this is going to be a great show to get in early on.
I think you're right. Here's the problem. We're staring down the barrel of a content apocalypse. We've got Stranger Things, which we know is popular and very well represented on the podcast. There's a lot of podcast interest in that demographic.
In the wheelhouse, yeah.
We know we have The Walking Dead, which continues to be a big hit for us, and it's fun to cover. We have, what's the other thing? Oh, Mr. Robot. Which honestly is kind of on death row with me. If this season 3 is as disappointing as season 2 is, I'm done. And then at which point I would feel bad for not covering The Deuce. But I don't know, because like if these are decisions that make or break Ball Move, and we make them all the time, and it's frightening. Which ones do we cover? Which ones we let go? And if we let go this, if it comes back, if the Deuce comes back and with another season, which I think is going to be a thing, then we'll know absolutely how popular it was and how much of a boat we're missing.
Right.
So,
I feel like that's probably our strategy going forward, is to not cover much day one unless we're just intensely interested in it.
Yeah.
Like personally,
I mean, I'm intensely interested in this, and the pilot was amazing. But
yeah, that's fair.
I also worry that it's going to be like a lot of David Simon things, which is super good and everyone loves it, but there's just very little. Like look at the Reddit for Treme.
Yeah.
Look at the Reddit for Show Me a Hero, which I don't even think exists. Like, you know, I'll look for the Reddit for the Deuce. I'm sure there is one.
Yeah.
You want to take one?
Yeah, I mean that's the sad fact, right? Is we do have to base it somewhat on what's going to be popular. Because if we spend all our time doing shows that aren't popular, we won't have time for shows that are. And
then we die.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Ooh, I hear your resolve weakening. Are we kicking Mr. Robot off?
No, God, no. But I'm with you on this season. It needs to be really good.
Perfect example. The Deuce's subreddit has 922 readers, 13 here now. If you go to Game of Thrones, there's over 1 million readers with 50,000 active.
922? even if we captured 100% of the Reddit
Yeah,
audience.
that gets less traffic than Lunch with Jim and Aaron, which is a premium fucking product. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
I imagine the time it would take to do a proper Deuce cast.
it's a
is not
damn
worth
shame.
It.
It's unfair
Yeah.
that Show Me a Hero doesn't get the ratings that Game of Thrones does, or the Deuce, but that's kind of being the life of a David Simon fan. You never are going to get the critical and cultural acclaim that you think it deserves.
I don't understand the critical stuff though. Like, why is he not winning more awards on the critic side? Like,
because the Emmys are a
these
morally
shows are
and ethically
objectively great.
bankrupt institution.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
I do think that. I mean, so what I'm saying is, we love it enough that we're going to do a Bald Move series on it.
Yeah.
And that's the
Bald Move TV.
Bald Move TV, and I think that's the best we can do. Like, if we do that every 2 weeks or so,
Yeah.
it's better than doing nothing. And it still takes up a lot of time keeping up on it.
Yeah, and I mean we can't do everything as a full show either. We got to have stuff for Bald Move TV. So
yeah,
those are kind of the perfect things where they don't get a ton of like viewers, and they probably wouldn't be great,
right?
Or they don't fit into our schedule as a full cast. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Warp Fox from Nashville, Tennessee, just picked up Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, and so far the best strategy I've found is to hide and wait for as long as possible, not engage in firefights until you absolutely have to. Do you guys have any strategy suggestions or any particular methods or practices you've employed to great success in the game?
He's the 10 million and first person to pick that up.
Yeah.
They did 10 million copies, $300 million on that thing.
Yep.
And they just announced Xbox One exclusive release. The game's
doing
huge.
something right. And the thing is that they are still positioned for someone to eat their lunch, because the ceiling on this Battle Royale type game has not been reached.
Yeah, I agree
So
with that.
I feel like this is the biggest thing of its kind yet, and it still can be surpassed.
And it started out as a weird low budget, and it still has the feeling of a weird low budget, kind of hacky bullshit game.
Mm-hmm. It's getting less
in a lot
so,
of ways.
though.
It's getting less so, yeah. But if like a big studio came along, but that's the thing. It's going to take years and years for a studio to develop something huge, and by that time, there might be a new
Bluehole might
craze.
be like, it just got a $300 million budget and growing. So like it's
crazy.
So here's the thing, Warp Fox. That strategy will get you far, but what will start happening is you'll start consistently getting the top 10. Your place on the leaderboard will rise accordingly, and you are not earning the positional skill set and the tactical skill set to succeed there. So you're eventually going to be put in very frustrating games where you're picked off from ranges that you can't engage at, and you don't know what you're like you're artificially succeeding. And you're going to get to like this Peter principle point where you no longer can do that, and you're not going to have the skills that you need to progress up that ladder. So my recommendation, what I took to heart, because I had the same question 3 months ago, is to jump into high intensity conflict zones and die again and again and again. Like, jump into the school, jump into the military base, jump into the heart of Pachinki, and get in the gunfights after gunfights, and to where you start like when you start fighting out of places like the prison, we start fighting out of places like the school, and you got 6 or 7 kills already, then take that and combine it with your hiding strategy and picking the time and place and engagement, and then you'll start winning chicken dinners.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can get behind that. I guess for different reasons. Like, I'm not super concerned with the fucking leaderboards or whatever. I just want to have a good time with it.
Right.
So that's one way to do it. Like, certainly jump in, just have some firefights. Don't spend 40 minutes playing this game, seeing no one, and then getting insta killed.
Right. Being a loot pinata for someone.
Right. It really sucks, because you're like, I don't know about you, but that's not fun for me.
Right.
To just hide in the grass for 40 minutes.
Plus, getting to the top 10, if you don't have that tactical skill, you are so jumpy and nervous, because this is the first real gunfight and there's so much stakes. Like, it sucks. I don't think you learn anything. And I don't think that's the thing. Like, it was super fun to like survive and evade, but like there's a pretty low fun ceiling for that. And the fourth time you get ganked after you've looted up in some obscure location, or you die to the gas because you're way out of position, it's like, okay, I would have probably had a lot more fun if I'd have jumped into the prison 6 times in a row. And I'm going to get stomped most of the time, but the time you fight out, it's like, fuck yeah. And you're well equipped to go into the end game. You probably got level 3 shit. You got a fully kitted out assault rifle. So like I said, me and my son were doing that in the summer, and we got a lot of well-earned top 10 finishes. We were number 2 on 2 different occasions. We've yet to win the chicken dinner, but we're actually making steady progress and practicing flanking and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I believe it's your turn.
I don't have any more.
Oh,
that
really?
was it on Twitter. Yep.
Okay. There is someone wanting us to check out a picture of the modern day The Next Generation cast, saying they all look so old. I feel so old. We are all old.
Yeah.
I turned 41 last weekend.
I was watching that shit when I was like 17 or earlier.
Yeah.
Way earlier. I was like 12, 13.
Yeah. No, right. I mean, that's when I was in middle and high school. No, I was actually into Star Trek, and I think that I first discovered Star Trek in the 4th grade.
Yeah, I was gonna say I must have been
younger
than that.
We're getting old. We're getting super old.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Murder Bear from Kentucky again. Thoughts on the douche canoe PewDiePie, or the actual interesting aspect of the whole thing that Campo Santo pulling out the DMCA claim on him and getting his videos of the game pulled. I personally feel like it's the right call, and if the copyright owner disagrees with what you've repeatedly shown as your true racist nature, then they should have the right to not let you make money off the product.
Is this the anti-Semite thing?
This is where he used it. He called someone, and he's a Swedish national, I believe, that's living in America, I believe, and he called someone an M-bomb when he got angry at them online on stream.
That seems foolish.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know that PewDiePie is a racist, but because I don't know what it's like to be from a culture where like race isn't an issue. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you're growing up in the culture. Like, I know he knows it's wrong, but does he have decades of like just a social pressure to not use that language? But the thing is it also, I don't think it matters because what he's doing by using that language is normalizing it for the many young fans. And like when they see someone that they look up to use that because they're frustrated or angry, then they're like, well, that's just something you can do. And then that leads to more that does net increase the races. Like if a non-racist makes racist jokes, you can argue, number one, that they're racist, but number two, even if they're not, what they're doing is normalizing that behavior, because the actual racists see that, like, oh, you can do this in public, so I'm going to do it. And I mean, that's been proven time and time again. So, and the other thing is, this isn't his first fucking rodeo with saying something really horribly offensive and then be like, well, it's just a joke. You know, it's like your profile's so big that you're going to offend somebody, and if you haven't learned by now, you're never going to learn it. Also, PewDiePie has single-handedly destroyed the YouTube economy. Have you been following this? Like, largely because of his bullshit, they now have this complicated content censoring service where your videos get delisted almost automatically if they detect the word gun, or they detect like all kinds of different speech that just delist your video, and it can take weeks to get them remonetized. All the while, what do you know about the first 3 weeks of a video?
It's probably the most important part,
because 90% of your traffic's probably going to be in that period, and so then and this is like a big, like, if you've been following the content creators, there's a lot of guys who are making comfortable livings, and suddenly they're like fucking scrambling. They're trying to get Patreon going. They're trying to get these other, and there's too many and not enough.
My brain can't process what you just said.
Okay, what are you?
YouTube is banning the word gun.
YouTube's not banning. They automatically demonetize
with the word gun in it.
Yes, if it shows if it matches the heuristic pattern of a gun for the thumbnail, if a word gun or war or blood is in the title, and also if it can detect it in the speech of the video.
What?
Yeah, man. This is like the big like drama happening in content creator land right now. The fact that it's overnight become almost impossible to rely on an income.
What is the rationale behind that?
There is this super scholarly series going into World War I. Millions and millions of videos, and it's really awesome. And they lost all their monetization overnight, and they've had to appeal it, and it takes weeks to get it appealed. It's like, it's crazy.
I don't understand the rationale, or like,
because
what supportive argument there could be for banning the word gun.
They're not banning the video
from participation in their program,
because as YouTube's gotten more popular and has gotten more and more big advertisers, the advertisers are tired of people like PewDiePie. They've got 20 million views that they've monetized, and then he throws the N-bomb, and then they hear about it.
But how does removing from the monetization program,
Then the
for
advertisers,
lack of a better term, banning people from that program, for the word gun, have anything to do with that?
Because that's just one. I mean, I think what the problem is the threshold is just set way too sensitive because it's an automated process, and they just bull in a China shop did this.
But gun does not correlate to racist.
No, but it's possibly
all.
controversial or violent content that, I'm look, man. I feel like you're asking me to defend this shit. I'm just reporting the facts. Like, and
I can't
also
understand in any world how that makes any sense.
In a world that children are watching YouTube and there's school shootings and advertise, like you want to be Denny's and advertise on some conspiracy website guy who's talking about Sandy Hook.
But we've got
being a
systems
false
in
flag.
place for that. It's called content ratings. And YouTube will have the ability to, okay, if you're not 18 years old and you don't prove it, then you're
this is
stuck at the kids' table.
You're talking about the fine line, the intersection between free speech and private enterprise. Because like these advertisers, it's like, we're not fucking paying the bills if they mention gun, and then YouTube's like, okay, fine. Like your speech isn't being banned. You could just no longer.
No, I know.
Like I said, I have mixed feelings because I think YouTube needs a lot of these places need to do a much better job of policing their content because there's far too many just crazy things happening. And if I was a vendor, if I was an advertiser whose my commercials being shown on some of these lunatics pages, I would be very upset. Or if I'm trying to advertise a children's service and I'm on a Gears of War video, I'd be upset. However,
well,
I
think
a
there are
bummer that a lot
to the
of
process
these
that could be done to help alleviate some of those problems without
if
causing
I was YouTube
so much more.
And I had this cesspool, instead of just trying to drain it in one instance, I think I would set up very mild things and continually box it forward but for whatever reason they went the opposite, where they're just because they're fucking Silicon Valley and it's disruptive culture and they don't give a shit about any of the ecosystems that they're flipping. They're just wanting to try their tech out. So
yeah,
because like that thing, like the content creators are not the customer of YouTube, and neither are the people watching it. They are the commodity. The customer is the advertiser, and they are the ones who are calling all these shots.
In a world where Twitch exists, I would be very fucking careful, YouTube.
Well, but
because they are eating your goddamn lunch as we speak.
The other argument is as Twitch gets better and better at the advertising game, then they're going to have
hitbox will come up. Like these big guys need to watch what the fuck they're doing because all of the people who are making money on this are ready and willing to jump to the next thing if it's advantageous.
Oh, I agree. But also you're talking about, a lot of people that like that World War II guy. Can he migrate over to Twitch?
Sure. Anybody can.
I know he can, but I'm saying would his audience travel over there? Because his audience is obviously not a bunch of teenage gamers. Mm-hmm. Or middle-aged gamers for that matter. Like I said, it's a huge problem, and I don't know. That's one of the reasons. Like as we go forward, I've talked about how this thing exciting about podcasts is right now we're talking online mattresses and protein bars and speaker systems and personalized clothing stuff, and that's all well and good. But the big money is going to come into podcasts when Hyundai gets in and Taco Bell and Hilton hotels and all that stuff. But when they come in, like, are they going to overlook the silly shit that we get up to? And are we going to be in a strong enough position from our community support to be able to we don't give a shit and we can lose massive advertising dollars? I don't know. Those are things that concern me for sure.
I mean, I feel like I've got a solution.
Yeah?
For YouTube. If they really want to make sure that the N-word is not used on a video that Coca-Cola is putting their advertising dollars behind, block the N-word. Not gun. Yeah. Not gun. Not something that maybe correlates to a higher percentage of people who might use the N-word. Block the fucking N-word.
Right, sure.
Block fuck.
That's
block
already
shit,
happening. They're just doing extra blocking that you don't personally agree with. But they don't give a shit what you want. It's all about the advertisers.
Wow. Yeah, it's
mind-blowing. I also think there's a room for, let's say, edgy advertisers to, I want to opt in on the video game coverage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Activision. I got this new game coming out. I want anything that's mentioning gun or World War II
Bald Move should
or
get in on that.
yeah, we should advertise to the degenerates of the internet. That would do wonderful things for our community. But I do think that there is room for it to go the other way. It's just it hasn't happened yet, and it's just like any other thing. When you've got taxi systems and people buying $1 million medallions on a business that they think is firm, and then fucking Uber and Lyft comes to town, and now all of a sudden their Apple Cart. It's not a bad thing that Uber and Lyft came to town. The bad thing is the economic upheaval amongst the people in the entrenched system. And the unfortunate thing is, I do feel like if this lasts for like 6 months, there's a lot of content creators that are just going to die off. Like some of these guys who I've personally seen their channels go from nothing to, 100,000 or 200,000 subscribers. They're just not going to, they're and making modest income. It's kind of like the same thing, like what happened with us with Amazon. Like, what if we hadn't had Club Bald Move and a community of people that were passionate about us and wanted us to succeed? We would have not been able to survive that. Or, if like 90% of our income came from advertising, and then suddenly they're just like, we can't advertise because you say the word fuck too much. Like, we either got to stop saying fuck, which, maybe that would probably be a good thing for us, honestly, all around. But what would our existing community think about it,
Right. I mean, our existing community is solely here to hear us say fuck.
Sure.
That's all they tune in for.
Sure. We should do the shepherd's tone of fucks. It just always sounds like we're saying fuck. It's this one because it's
what
funny
if
because
somebody does the F sound, somebody does the U.
One of the things we've been wanting to do is push into YouTube because it's such a huge audience and it's easy monetization and all that stuff. And like sometimes I think like the fact that we weren't able to do that, I mean, maybe that helped us out because we avoided this debacle. Like if we were not dependent on that revenue stream. So
yeah, we rarely say the N-word.
But we say gun all the time.
Do we?
We say incest and rape and
yeah, they haven't cracked down on those yet.
No, that's what. Yeah, I think they have. Like if
oh, it's not just gun
in a continuum, but no, it's not just gun.
Oh, I assumed it was just gun.
It's gun and in-bomb. Everything else is fine with advertisers. There's a continuum between gun and the in-bomb, and I'm certain that like fuck and this and rape and decapitation and shit like that's on it. But I don't know because that's the other thing is YouTube doesn't say like your video was blocked for this reason. It's just your video was blocked. And there's a lot of YouTubers doing science on this where they do A, B, C, D testing where it's like, okay,
yeah,
I want to post this video with a picture of my family on the cover and rainbow kittens in the title, and that's how the people figured out that they're also listening. It's the content inside the video, because they do shit like that to try to test to see what gets delisted or demonetized and what doesn't. And that's the other thing.
So long to process a fucking video when you upload to YouTube.
Maybe. And that's the other thing is, I also think this wouldn't be as controversial if you could like list it as a private video and have YouTube tell you whether it's monetization or not. But like the fact that you publish it and then you get it demonetized and then 3 weeks go by and it's monetized, you've missed 90% in income. Right, that sucks, especially
needs to be like a pre-test
because it takes a good long, like imagine that happened to Epic Rap Battles guy. Like it takes him like a month to make a video. They release it, they get 20 million hits in the first week, and they got demonetized because Sherlock Holmes has a gun. Like that would really kill them. So but yeah, we got guys like PewDiePie to thank because he was the first one that got sponsorships with Disney and stuff, and he was the first one to lose them, and he keeps doing this stupid shit. And he doesn't take his role as a person that influences society seriously.
Yeah.
And he should be punished for it, I think.
How much can you punish a person with that much money?
I mean, to the extent that he still wants to make money, which I have to, like, if he still didn't want to make money, he would have stopped streaming 16 hours a day and screaming to a microphone, right?
I guess I don't know why he still does it.
I'm assuming that he's wanting to make more money, like a lot of these guys do. So if he stops making mo money. But that's the thing, like,
there are easier ways to make mo money.
it's also like judging from online, like if you judge by YouTube and Reddit, the people that don't think saying the N-bomb is a big deal are winning the day, is the other disappointing thing.
Seriously?
Yeah, like it's if it depends on the community you're in, but like all the negative upvotes are people are like, no, seriously, this has damaging effects to society. And like there was another little thing where
well, it's probably his fans, like people who are intensely
sure, and they're brigading. It's hard to say.
Yeah, they love PewDiePie. They've been fans of his for 5-6 years now,
right?
And they're just going to defend him no matter what he does.
But there's a lot of bad faith arguing on the internet going on now with
Really?
these communities. Yeah, these troll communities are pushing some of this racist agendas. Are the ones saying like, "Oh, it's no big deal," or "I don't even like it," and they're acting. It's a fucking weird time to be online.
I think it always has been.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's always been weird online.
I mean, when I was a teenager, I used to roll that way. It's like, well, if you can't handle free speech, stay off the fucking internet. And
sure.
20 years from now, I see that. I feel like that attitude has had a corrosive effect because it's not just saying stuff that is offensive. It's saying stuff that isn't true and building up huge networks to enable people to say false things and get away with it and hateful things and recruit those people. And it's ISIS is using it. See, I just said ISIS. That could get our video demonetized. Apparently, that's one of the terms.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, though. Like, back when you were using the internet wasn't what it is today. You know?
Right.
Like, there was such a thing as staying off the internet.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't want to see it, you could easily do that.
Well, nowadays
it's impossible.
When people's speech is being paid by big corporations, then that can be taken away.
Sure.
And it has nothing to do with the First Amendment.
Yeah, right.
Just has to do with not being rewarded for being a fucknut.
Mm-hmm.
That's lunch for today, man.
Okay.
We will be back again next week. We got a full slate, full dance card next week. We got American Horror Story. We got Game of Thrones Season 2, Episode 2. We got another movie, Kingsman Chronicles. Kingsman 2, Golden Circles or some shit like that.
Yeah.
What else? I feel like there's something else. We got a video game playthrough coming out.
Not next week.
Are you sure?
Wait, third Wednesday? Yeah,
that is
maybe
the third
next
Wednesday.
week.
I think it's next because we were 1 week. We were 1 week behind on the Quip. So
okay, I guess
trying to get back on because that thing is we got to get back up to speed before the Crush comes in October.
Yeah, we need to get on these commission podcasts too.
Yes,
because we had to unfortunately neglect them during Game of Thrones.
Yes, like we're coming up on a year behind.
Yeah,
that's why we shut them off.
Yeah.
As we were buried. Anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us for lunch. We'll be back again next week. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you sometime next week.
Oh, I gotta stop this thing.
Yeah, please save me. Save me from myself.